this is what I hear. "Woo! Woo! Woo!" I hear him. I come up to him, this sort of far away, right? And he's punching trees. I go, "Hey, buddy, it's Dave." And this is what he says. "Get away! I hate you! I hate the whole group!" What would self-sacrificial love do? Took a couple steps closer. Didn't run to him. I wanted to be safe. So I came a little closer to him and I said, "Hey, buddy, I just came out here to say I love you." He's like, he went like this, and then his arms just sort of went down like this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to risk getting a little closer. A little closer. I said, "I love you, Ryan. God loves you too." I put my hand on his shoulder. He turns around and he embraces me and he starts hitting me going, "Dave, I was an idiot." And I said, "Yes, you were." You always have to agree with the truth, right? Speak the truth. "I was an idiot. You were, Ryan. Yeah, I know they all think I'm stupid. They probably are really wondering why you did that, buddy." And I said, "But you know what? We're Christians." I said, "Real Christians love and they forgive and you'll be okay." And like he's new in this, right? So he says, "I don't know, Dave. I don't know, really?" And I said, "Yeah." I brought him back. And fortunately, some of the other kids came around and said, "Are you okay, Ryan?" He says, "Yeah." He said, "I'm sorry" to the guy. I said, "You don't have to say sorry to him. Look at him. He's happy." So, no, I didn't say that. Moments like that, I realized that every youth group has some interesting people in it. God sends interesting people to youth groups. If you think, "Oh, my youth group has too many interesting people, I'm going to go to a different youth group." Guess what? They'll be there too. Their names and faces will be changed, but they'll be the same people there. The deal is sometimes God sends interesting people to the youth group. Not for us to all get focused right on them, but to be able to show self-sacrificial love everywhere we go. There's a guy in my daughter's youth group who is still developing in his mind, and he hung out this one youth group, and all the kids were around the piano, playing on the piano, and just sort of watching, and everybody sort of checking each other out. Like, that doesn't happen in your youth group, I know, but did in this one. And this guy came out in the back, and he's trying to get in, going, "Hi," and "Hi," and no one would say anything to him the whole time. Turn their back on him the whole time. And then God started to move in those kids, and they said, I suggested to him, "Listen, what are you going to do?" And they said, "Well, if we say hi to him, he'll follow us around the whole rest of the day. It's like he'll cling on to us, and we don't know how to get him off, so we just put him away as best we can." So, well, how about if every one of you gives him about 2 minutes? Go, talk to him, fool around with him, hey, and then teach him how to be a real person, to go 2 minutes with each person. And they started to do that. They started to help this guy learn how to act and be okay. Everybody gave him about 2 minutes and loved on him. And they found out in that youth group it just wasn't about them. It's called self-sacrificial love, even to people that you might not like. Self-sacrificial love means that you, if you're shy, you need to go out and actually take some initiative as a food runner and actually give things away to people that will never pay you back. Self-sacrificial love means that there's people that just don't quite sit right with you. But God says, you got to love them too. And just love them in appropriate ways. Just love them in appropriate ways. Lastly, God says, not only for food runs, tree punchers, but also chair lovers. Chair lovers. When I was, man, a lot of stuff, Helen, happened in Iowa. I'm just realizing all my stories from Iowa. I was in Iowa, and there's this one of the deacons, the head dudes, right? Every church has head dudes, and they all give them different names. This church I was like with deacons. This guy really didn't like me. I never really figured out why 100%. There's another lady who wanted a separate youth group for her girl because she was a princess, and she didn't want her princess hanging out with people that were not so princessy. So, so we decided not to make 2 youth groups, but make it all one and try and help that. And she was friends with this guy. So anyway, this guy really didn't like me. So I remember sitting there in church, and one morning they made an announcement in front of the whole church. This dude gets up, and he says, "We are having a problem with our youth pastor." Everybody's like looking around. Who? What's going on? Said, "Dave Overholt. We're having a deacons meeting right after church service about what he did." And he gets down. And everybody's going, "What did he do? I don't know. I think he stole something. Oh, did he have an affair? Oh, I probably did. Oh, okay." And I'm thinking, whoa, is it for this or this or this or this? It could have been for that or that. Could have been for anything, man. I am so toast. So we get in the meeting, and we get all the circles in the little back room, and all the circles, all the deacons there, all on their ties, all in their suits, looking very, very official. And I'm there, it's going, oh, and the deacon looks at me and he says, "Dave Overholt, did you have a youth meeting on Wednesday night?" And I wanted to say, "No!" But I did. "Yeah." "Did you use metal folding chairs in your games?" "Yeah, I did. It was a really cool game, like musical chairs, but it was backwards, and we had to tackle each other on chairs. It was really fun. It was out in the field." He says, "I know it was in the field because I drove by, and I saw 6 metal folding chairs outside all night. It could have rained, and the women's auxiliary paid for those chairs. What do you have to say to yourself?" You know what I said? Inside, I go, "Whoo, all right, that's it, chairs." So I go, "Man, I apologize for keeping those chairs overnight. I should not have done that, and I would just, I'll make sure I put away chairs next time." And all the other deacons are going, "This was a meeting for this? That's stupid." And they all sort of went away, and we all are missing our roast beef dinner. So they all went off. And so I got thinking, what should I do with this situation? And I came upon an interesting verse, Matthew 5:43. And it goes, Matthew 5:43, there it is. It goes like this. "You've heard it said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' It makes sense. I love you. You know why? Because you love me. I love you because you love me. You don't love me? Who cares? Get away from me. I hate you too. So there." So you've heard it said that love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you, that you may be sons and daughters of your Father in heaven." You want to really be a kid of the King? This is a real acid test. Love those that can't stand you. So I thought, okay, he can't stand me. That's great. Jim hates my guts. This is a good opportunity to prove that I am a son of the King. Okay, how can I love Jim? I'll pray for Jim. God, help Jim out. Okay, that's not good enough. I got to love him. How can I love Jim? Jim, what does he like? Oh, I don't know. He's a farmer. What else does Jim like? Jim likes chairs. He really likes metal folding chairs. So I phoned up a manufacturer of metal folding chairs. I said, "Hey, can you deliver some metal folding chairs to this address?" They said, "Sure. Can you put a note card on it?" We don't usually do that. "Can you get a piece of paper?" Okay. Dear Jim, I'm saying this over the phone. This is Dave. I love you. I love you. Okay, I love you. I'm sorry about the chairs. Dave.